how beautiful she looks. She walked in and like, you made me look. You made me look.
So that song is dedicated to her.
Of course.
She is an esteemed Chief Executive Officer of the Listening School with more than 20 years of dedicated focus on excellence across banking, consulting, human capital development. Her exceptional career trajectory portrays her as a forward-thinking leader and trailblazer in the realm of listening intelligence, a crucial asset in the banking and financial services sector. I dare say more.
Yes, being a certified listening practitioner and a member of the International Listening Association, she brings quite a unique skill set to the industry. Throughout her illustrious career, she has consistently pursued excellence and comprehended the profound impact of listening intelligence on leadership.
She has proven her capability to foster growth, innovation, and sustainability in this fiercely competitive arena. Her strategic acumen and visionary leadership has constituted consistently and delivered outstanding outcomes, earning her the trust of top financial communication and management consulting institutions.
Oh, we're not done yet. She is a pioneer in listening intelligence. Her work has redefined how leaders across various sectors approach communication, collaboration, and customer relationship. Her affiliation with the esteemed John Maxwell team, I'm going to say that one more time, John Maxwell team has further honed her skills, enabling her to introduce innovative solutions to all sectors of the economy.
Driven by her passion for listening intelligence, she established the Listening School, the first of its kind in Africa.
Yes, you heard that right.
This institution serves as a hub of knowledge and expertise, empowering leaders with the tools to leverage active and deep listening in their professional endeavors.
She remains an invaluable asset, offering visionary insight, transformative strategies, and an unwavering commitment to driving success in the realm of banking, energy, telecoms, and financial technology services.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. And hermaphrodites alongside.
Like.
Please make welcome Ebele Chukwujama.
Yes. What? The first of its kind in Africa.
The Listening School.
The Listening School. That is absolutely something worth talking about.
She's here just shaking her head and shaking her head.
And she thinks to herself like,
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for that warm introduction, Gifted Goddess and GBBB. I'm super honored to be here. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Look, we're going to start with what the Listening School is. Then we're going to trail back to how we got
started.
Yes. So what is the Listening School?
So, we believe that people do not pay attention when conversing with other people. And the lack of attention, it causes misunderstanding, misalignment, miscommunication, emotional discomfort, and conflict. Listening is the other half of communication. It's the incontrovertible half of communication. You can't say you've communicated without listening. So think about it for a minute. You went to school to learn how to read, speak, and write, but not how to listen. You can't catch it. You've got to teach it. So it was born out of that need. According to Jim Rohn, he said that, and I quote him, "Service to many leads to greatness." I thought about what can we serve in communication? There has to be a gap. It can't be only speaking and speaking and speaking. And that when it hit me like, oh, listening is a thing. And I went into deep research and work, and that's how we got the Listening School.
Was there an experience, or was it something that you experienced that made you think about this?
Sure. I was in a company, and I was the CEO of a company, and we just finished aftermath of COVID, right? And we're thinking, what else? What's the next big thing? And I was in the meeting there thinking to my people, saying, there's something we're missing. Let's brainstorm on it. Let's think about something we've done communication from top, bottom, and middle. Then it hit me. I heard my spirit listening. And I'm like, that's it. So I thought to my team, that's it. Let's develop this. That's the thing. Because listening, it cuts across whether your age, whether gender, demographic, black, white, Caucasian, anything, young, old. We've got 2 ears and a mouth to listen twice as much as we speak.
Sorry, please, Ma, repeat that again.
According to Epictetus, that's a philosopher, he says, we've got 2 ears and a mouth to listen twice as much as we speak. Most of us speak twice as much as we listen.
Okay.
How come you've got peace talks and not peace listens? You've got talk shows and not listen shows.
That is on another level, if you ask me, because no one would ever really think intently enough about listening. It's just spew the words. In fact, in school, there's the encoder, decoder. Once the person has received the information and acts upon it, he or she has received or listened.
And that's when you find out that hearing
It's not listening.
and listening are two worlds apart.
It's not the same.
Because you can hear, not listen.
Yes, because you hear with your ears, which is passive.
Right.
But you listen with your brain, which is cognitive.
We're going to get you to come on Business Connect one of these
Almost
days
definitely.
to teach on the art of listening as a leader in a business organization.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Let's walk you back, let's walk back with you. Ebele, how did you come to be? How many kids? How's mommy and daddy? Like, how did you grow up? What was growing up
childhood.
like?
Okay, so my dad, blessed memory, my mom had 5 children, and I'm the 4th of the 5, and grew up with only boys. Right, so it was a place of love and affection, being the only girl, daddy's girl and all of that. And growing up, I never even thought I would be here today.
How so?
Because listening, I didn't ever think it was my trajectory. Owning a company called the Listening School, I went through school, went through high school, university, and all of that. Got into
What did you study?
banking and finance. Banking and finance. I was in the banking sector for quite a bit, and left there to do entrepreneurship, and got from there to head a company that was in Nigeria and Kenya at the same time. Then COVID happened, and after COVID, this company was birthed. But I'm married to a husband, and I've got 3 boys. So I've got 4 children actually. I know he's listening. So I've got 4 children. He's the biggest of the teenagers. You don't want to know what my house sounds like during football season.
Ooh.
And they're all listening in. I know.
and here's the thing. She grew up with her being the only girl, and now she's the only
girl
woman in her house.
I know, right?
Right. So now you went from banking and finance. I want to talk about, like, as a person, what kind of child were you? Are you stubborn? Did you used to hear word?
I was that child. I was almost the last, right? So I'm the only girl. So I had a bit of privileges, I could do no wrong in front of my parents. And that kept me grounded, because so every time I went to school or university, I would think, oh, my dad, I can't disappoint him. So I wasn't that kind of child that, I will always listen. Because I knew that they got my back and they provided for me everything I wanted. So I didn't have any need to go straight out of the ordinary, you know what I mean? So I was that typical only girl, quiet child, where I was told the line of, this is how I have to go. I didn't quite tilt out from it. Yeah.
So growing up, my mom couldn't study accountancy because she, for some reason, she got married to my dad really early. And then, she had sort of gotten into my brain that I want to be an accountant or a banker, to say the least.
Wow.
And so that was the path I was threading until I had to make a decision, called her in the middle of a market and said, Mommy, I'm about to put in for my jam right now. And no, I'm putting communication.
Okay.
Were your parents instrumental in deciding whether or not you wanted to study accounting banking and finance in this case?
No, they weren't. It was what I wanted to study.
What did you always want to be?
Banking and finance. It was that it was so, at the time, it was like, that's
Very
the
prim proper.
Absolutely. So I just thought, why not? And that's why I read in school. So I was the right fit for the work.
So you have the first listening school in Nigeria, in Africa.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that segue. You were one of those people that COVID happened to, but for good. Like, COVID was the...
Right.
Yes.
I don't know what that is, because I was working throughout COVID. Still beef that time. But for you, how did COVID influence your trajectory into the space that you're in?
So that was what I was saying. When we got out of COVID, we were having a team meeting in the company I was working before.
Okay.
And we had just barely survived, It was really, that period was really quite sad. And I was asking the team, so there's something we're missing. We've got to come back into the market
Right.
with something, because we've done everything. I mean, the company at the time, we were 21 years in business, so they were not. It was solid in terms of visibility, brand awareness, and all of that. So I was thinking there's something we are missing. What is it? So based on that service to many leads to greatness, I said, what can we serve that everybody requires? What product or service do we have to develop that everybody required?
Right.
So I was thinking from that perspective of people, everybody, and it just hit me listening, because it wasn't a communication company, by the way. So it just hit me listening. I thought, oh my goodness, that's the thing.
That's it.
That's the light bulb. We've got to do this. We've got to develop more content on it. We've got to sell this. But like everything else, people are going through stuff. It never quite got lifted. It didn't happen. Shortly after that, I left the company, and I was kind of burnt out because everything else with COVID,
Yeah.
And when I now decided to think about what to do, I heard listening. Again, I'm like, but no, nobody's doing listening. There's no listening coach. There's nobody to hire. And I'm like, I'm a woman of faith, so, and I heard you've got to be here.
Right.
So I had to go in there and do the work, and that's why we're here today.
You're literally a pioneer in this industry.
Correct.
It's the first of its kind in Africa. How are you able to sell listening to people who don't even
Listen,
I'm like,
she was supposed to be
listening?
here last
What
week,
is
but
going
she was
on?
with the big leagues. She barely ever has time.
I
And I'm coming
know.
to family
I know.
time, because that's
I
quite an
know.
important thing. But
Absolutely.
how did you
sell
yeah.
listening to people who don't even understand what listening is in the first place?
So I started with a proposal saying, because I had to say what it was. People didn't know. So when you have a problem, they don't know you have a problem. I said, this is a problem, but then again, I'm the solution. Something like that. So I had to pitch to the C-level, because you see, when you get it right, think about it, Chi and Gifted Goddess, we didn't go to school to learn how to listen. Most of the conflicts you see at the bottom is the lack of listening. Because people have their own opinions, they've got their own perspectives, and no one is backing down. So when you come to leadership, and I wanted to go from the C-level, because once you get it right with the C-level, it kind of trickles down to the company. So this is a niche environment. I had to be careful what market I was playing into.
I see you writing a book, but go on.
Just go on. So, and once I got that, my first letters, I had to do the email list, and I went to what's another company, a courier company. It was not
A courier company, anyway.
Courier company, yeah. And I said, you know what, to get to the C-level, you must, if you put it in DHL, they'll open it. Yeah. So I put the letter in there, the introduction letter and all that, and I mailed it to this C-level people. And one of them said to me, oh, this is interesting. Let's get my HR talking to you. And that was an insurance company. And they had another sister company. So when I got into the insurance company, my first day there, they were like, wow, we've got a sister company, by the way. And they were like, oh, if you're doing the same thing, then that means we'll do the same thing. So I got two companies within a week.
Talk about favor. I know.
Sure. And that's from there, it just went from, word of mouth, because we don't even advertise. Because it sells the courses and the delivery and the way we design the course or the courses. They kind of mouth themselves. So I hear, oh, you need to meet Ebele, you need to meet the listening school. You've got to run this class for your C-level.
Let's talk about you and home.
Yes,
because
it's a lot
I
of
can
work.
see your busyness. You are very busy. How do you make out time for family?
Oh,
you have men
I
in
know.
your life.
Men.
Yeah.
Minus the fact that they chop plenty.
Yeah.
Do you have a help at home?
Oh,
How
sure,
do you?
sure.
Okay.
I've got people to help.
Okay.
I've got people at home to help, and that kind of makes a lot of difference. But family time, I prioritize it. I'm a family person. You see, it's God, family, then work. So that's my order. That has always been my order. God, family, then work. So every time this time I left the house, this was the first time in my 20 years of marriage this year that I left the house for work within the period.
20 years, by the way.
20 years?
I'm going to
Don't
be 20
play.
years in October, married to my lovely husband. Yeah, he's listening.
nice.
So.
Hi, husband.
Hi, kids.
I know, right?
They're all listening.
But the fact is, when they were younger, I had their time and attention. Now they're older, and some of them are in boarding house. They're out of the house. So my husband, we create time for it, because when we come back, when I come back from work, it's family time. It's family time. So it's not lengthy, but it's short and bursty.
That is beautiful.
That's quality, really. Not the length of time, is a quality time, and being intentional about it. So last week I got into town and we had to watch a movie. We had to watch Fantastic Four. All of us together. And so we have things to do together as a family. We do breakfast together. So there's a lot of catching up.
But initial struggles of, again, being in the banking sector for starter, that initial struggle of, they know the lesson, especially the higher you climb, the busier you get. So how did you juggle that? Because a lot of women...
It wasn't easy at the time. Yeah. Because, growing your career in the bank, and you had to, prove yourself. And sometimes you had to stay back sometimes. But the bank I worked, the culture was different. It wasn't that type of toxicity. Yes, it wasn't. I wasn't working weekends. I wasn't keeping late nights.
Right.
So I had time for my family. And I had some helps that will help when maybe if I say to them, take them to the hospital and I'll meet you there. There's always a way. And maternity leave is maternity leave. You want an extension, they were able to extend if you wanted. So it wasn't as horrible. I know that some banks were really horrible in terms of care and all of that. But the bank I worked, they're still good on culture.
Okay, now to the listening school. I hear you say 1 week after you launched and you got 2 companies. I'm certain that there's some challenges that you may have faced down the line. Can you tell us a bit about it?
The struggles of getting to where you are.
Because I'd done a bit of research and work, I'd actually, cooked myself in this. So I was prepared. I've got experience from the banking sector to the entrepreneurship. I did entrepreneurship for like 6 years or so before I got into this. So I think God had prepared me.
Right. The process.
So I was ready. Right. And challenges where you've taken the no, saying, oh, no, we're not ready now. When you think, oh, they're going to go immediately and they say, something has happened, let's back down a little bit. But apart from that, it's just like a cruise. I have my purpose.
Living purpose.
Because there are a lot of young ladies who are struggling to manage, being them. How was the process of finding you? Or should I ask, where was the process that you found yourself? That awareness, self-awareness. Some people find it inside the marriage. Some people find it before they get. Where did you find yourself?
I think it was when I left. When I left the banking sector.
Inside the marriage.
Yeah. Then there was a dry, like a 6 years of doing entrepreneurship. It's not easy to do it in Nigeria. So try so many things. And that in that moment I was being molded. I didn't realize I was being molded. So I always shortchanged myself. I always thought, I can't do this. Then the job came. That job was like a reaffirmation to say, oh, you can do this.
Right.
Because I'd lost all, how you sometimes you lose esteem and confidence in yourself because of things that happen to you when life really hits hard. And at the moment, it was when my husband said to me, he kept saying, you don't know what potential you're carrying. He kept reaffirming. Or he reaffirmed when I didn't even have any belief in myself.
Your husband?
Yeah. He kept saying, you don't know what you carry. You don't know. And whenever I get into that quiet moment where I say nothing, he just comes and starts praying and saying, do you know what? You are bigger than what you think you are. So I used to kind of borrow belief from him when I had none. And
have you a great partner, by the way?
Listen,
have
yourself a great partner who will support you at the times when you think that you're not good enough.
When you feel low, they're ready to spike you up.
Awesome.
Because when he asks and say, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. He will say, no, you're not. I said, I'm fine. He knew that I wasn't fine. But I couldn't even tell him what I was going through. Because I said to myself, he has his own to deal with that. I couldn't have brought my own burden. But what he would do, he would reaffirm, encourage. He never put me down to say, oh, you can't. He says, so when I got to him to say, I think I'm here and listening, he said, that's it. Do it for yourself. You can do it. You can do it. And the first, because I got stuck with money because I didn't have the money and I had to ask him for the money and it had to be in dollars. He just said, oh, sure. And that's where I'm here today.
I'm going to ask you.
Biggest supporter.
I'm going to ask you some questions that are personal now. We're going to go inside the house. So I've always wondered about this, and I always ask myself this, whether I'm in a relationship or not, when thinking about it. So I'm going to ask you, what are the 2 things you would say you love the most about your husband?
He is a gentleman.
Stop it! I like it.
I like that. I like
gentle in every word. He's a gentleman. he has the heart for God. That was my first priority in marriage. Not that you're a church goer, just that heart. Because when you have a heart for God and when you know God, you can't abuse me. You can't be lazy. You can't maltreat, because you see you will report to some higher being, not me.
That's right. That is right.
That was my number one.
It did not.
That was my number one requirement. Everything else was secondary. The primary thing was he has to have a heart for you. So that when he goes into this quiet moment, you will speak to him to know how to deal with me.
So someone once said, like, I don't have a ruckus with you. I'll report you to your maker. And so when she said that, she's like, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to flip the switch now.
Talk to me.
What are the two things you would say that as a woman, look, I know my husband, I know that these are my weaknesses, and he has to manage that. And so what are the two things?
You say, I know this, I know the what he calls my name, Ebele Chukwujama in full, him says, I know the hear word. And he says, you're one of a kind. When I've done it, he says me, you're one of a kind, i.e., I've gotten to the point where there can't be two of you in this world.
So how do you... Yes.
All right. I wanted to ask, in finding purpose, because it was married that you found that thing that you love and you pursued it, especially with the support of your partner. What would you advise today's woman? How would you advise her to find purpose?
You know, we all came into this world with greatness. It's all lying latent and dormant, but you all have it. It's not listening into that now, listening into God to... Because sometimes when you speak, you don't listen to what he's saying to you. It's two-way street, right?
Father, thank you, bye.
You speak and you listen. And he speaks through different, media, where it is through the word, through music. But life. if your mind is cluttered with all kind of distractions, you can't hear him. So finding purpose, because we all have some greatness locked in. The Bible says, be fruitful, multiply, dominate. So when you quieten your spirit and you're in the right environment and you ask, I need to know what I'm being destined to do here on earth. Not what you or what God has. It's what did you call me here to do? If you sincerely ask him and you pay attention, he will speak. And it's in that purpose that you find fulfillment. Money doesn't fulfill. It's purpose that you find fulfillment. And that value, he gives value because money will pursue value.
I've got 1 minute. I have one question.
Money will pursue value.
Always
as a woman. You know, a lot of times we are mothers, we are carers, we are workers, we are all of these things. But what do you do to have your me time? What's your me time like?
I travel.
How? By yourself?
He knows, from the get-go of marriage. I said, babe, I've got to go for my me time. There you go. So I do 3-4 days out of country, 5 days out of country for my me time. And they know that.
Okay. Time is not our friend. Never is. Because we could do this forever. Into the beautiful